I am really happy to have our next guest join us, proudly repping the 408. It is Tree Rascals.
Yo, yo, yo.
Hello.
What's up, guys?
Tree Rascals.
We're actually missing a guy.
Our producer, one of
He's the cutest in the group.
the cutest and one of the most important.
The sex symbol of the band.
Yeah, exactly.
Dominic, where is he right now?
He's on the way back to San Jose to be with his family in quarantine over there.
Because people are still getting to know you, if we could just get a roll call for who's who.
All right. I'm Tariq. I'm a singer and a songwriter.
Joseph, singer, songwriter, and sometimes I produce.
I'm George, and I do all the visuals and creative direction for that stuff.
I'm Isaac, and I rap. And Dominic, I'm gonna do his introduction. He handles almost all of the production, and he's a creative genius, and he's awesome, and the hardest working person I know, and he's just not here.
So I feel kind of weird doing this because you guys are accustomed to doing these type of interviews. I recall seeing a video of you guys very early on in your burgeoning, blossoming career of doing these Not a Critic interviews and reviews of albums and things.
Not a critic. Wait a second. Are you naming a blog right now?
Yes.
What the hell? That was me. That was
you.
Oh, I don't know if I'm supposed to cuss, but that was my last semester at college. I had to start a website and write music reviews. I should probably take that down.
No, too late now. I've mentioned it, and I have 4 copies.
I gotta get it down before this airs.
Well, I bring it up because you guys are so well versed in so many different things, which I think is kind of essential for musicians and artists these days, because you can't just be, all right, I'm a rapper and then that's it, and I'm going to let other people do all these other things, right? You got the internet available, you have DSLRs, iPhones can shoot in 4K. You guys are just one whole package. Was that the common theme that brought you guys as friends when hanging out at Silver Creek?
No, the common theme was just like, I don't know, just our characters. We just became friends through like sports and classes and just hanging out after school and just that. But I'm sorry. And with Isaac, when he moved over to the Bay Area to our high school, he was the only one who was recording off of like YouTube beats and releasing his own music on SoundCloud. So just him being in the group and us seeing that, slowly, like one by one, I would start going and writing and recording with him, and then Joseph would start. And then when Dom started producing was when it became like a really, really serious thing, because his mindset was it's not like we're just doing this for fun. This is like going to be our life, and this is how much work and effort it's going to take to do this. So him like working 65, 70 hours a week just put us all into like a mindset of, all right, let's take this really serious, even though we still like always have fun with it and be ourselves, and we're just friends at the end of the day. That's how it all started.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it works so well.
The Bay Area is so diverse, especially in music as well. You know, I feel like San Jose, there's such a diverse mix of ethnicities, but also in terms of music. You got the old heads that like Rage Against the Machine, and then you got people that are all emo and they're into Death Cab for Cutie and things like that. What were you guys listening to?
Go ahead.
For me, it was always like a mix. It was always a mix of everything. But I was always listening to what like my friends were listening to, because it was just interesting. Especially Joseph. Like Joseph opened my taste of music a lot long ago.
In what way? What were you listening to, Joe?
For me, it started off with like music my dad listened to. So he would listen to like the Beatles, the Eagles, a bunch of that. And then when I was younger, I got into Kanye West. And then that blossomed to Frank Ocean and like all of them.
George?
I was really into like Metallica and Korn and Slipknot for a while.
He had a rock phase.
I had a really hardcore rock phase, but I've always been a mixture of like everything. But lots of Spanish music, because my parents would only play and speak Spanish at home. Yeah. So that's all I heard. And then a mixture of that and like rap and rock. It was just a weird mix of everything that I really liked.
When you listen to Tree Rascals, I don't hear crazy hardcore punk sounds, but at the same time, I don't hear yacht rock and things that your dad would listen to on Magic Singer or what have you, right? It's to me, it's very much today's indie chill vibes with the mix of your influences of rap and all these other things.
Right.
Where did that intersect? How did that intersect?
I think just having such a broad spectrum of music growing up and like just like listening to everything, you kind of like really start to, it really like closes in what you actually like because you're exposed to so many things. So when you listen to so much stuff, like you obviously find the things you really like. And then as time progresses, I think once we started making music, like we became better at blending our influences together instead of like when I was like 12 or 13 and I would try to sound like my influences. Like now it's just like we sound like ourselves, but through that, like because our influences are part of ourselves, like you hear that through the music.
Tree Rascals is definitely reliant on the visuals, and you just talked about just uploading things to YouTube and all that. So when George comes up with these various schemes and ideas and things like that, how long does it take, and how many of you are involved in that process?
Tarek is helpful a lot of the times, and actually everyone puts in their own ideas, and we all usually like I start it, and then they come in and they help me. We build on it together. And we change it in ways for the better. And it always ends, the result is always the best as we all want it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes it's limited on our resources that when we wanted to make something really crazy, but we just couldn't. So it's lots of the times it's like that. It's kind of sad, heartbreaking.
usually before we record anything or before we shoot anything, the ideas for the visuals are like expensive and like big ideas. But then especially like before we signed to a label, we didn't have any resources. So we would have these big ideas and we're just like, oh wait, we got nothing. So we just kind of like, literally like most of our videos are shot in our neighborhoods or places that we hang out or places that we drive by. And it's just like an impulsive, like have fun, like let's shoot here. If it looks good, it looks good. If it feels good, it feels good. And that's it. Like,
and we've used the same location for multiple videos. It's just hard to tell.
Yeah.
Really?
Different angles, but there's like this one parking lot and this one road that we always used to just hang out by, and we would just be there like brainstorming what to do for the video. We're just like, we're wasting so much time brainstorming, let's just shoot something and make it look good. And that was pretty much the mindset. And same with like Not Okay, the last video. Like that one was kind of stressful in the beginning because we knew we didn't want any like we didn't want to use any resources, just us. And we didn't really have an idea too much. So it was just like just driving around in LA and just be like, all right, we kind of have an idea of what like the aesthetic should be. So we just looked for places that gave us the feel of the song, and that was it. Like just shot a bunch of different ones and just put something.
But to me, that's part of your. That's Peachtree Rascals right now. I think that's, you have 18 songs in the well and you have all these videos out and people are kind of accustomed to that. And I think that if you produce some slick video with Kenny G and, celebrity cameos, it'd be like, who are these guys?
Yeah, that's true.
We'll get that celebrity cameo soon enough though.
Hey, speaking of cameos, how much would you charge for a cameo?
I don't think we would right now.
I don't think we would.
What about all those girls that want a happy birthday shout out and things?
Send them for free.
We literally just right before we came on this, we just sent one over. Just on Instagram. We just
sang happy birthday.
You were supposed to play South by Southwest. You were supposed to be on tour right now. And what I find very interesting and I'm very sad about is that you are from the Bay, but yet you never played here in the city or the Ritz or anywhere.
We never played a single show as the Tree Rascals. When Isaac said that we played at our school, that was just Isaac and I, like way before Tree Rascals was even like a thought.
Yeah, like as a unit, we've never even had a single performance. We've rehearsed.
Like this year was supposed to be that introductory to the world and finally being able to perform at home and just like going and traveling and seeing fans, but it was just, and
it's kind of good that all the shows got canceled because like we're growing really fast right now. So once it's time for that first show to happen, I'm really excited to see the turnout.
You guys are doing us proud. We're really stoked for what you have in store, and I can't wait for new music from you guys.
I appreciate that, bro.
Thank you so much. Thanks for all the support. It really
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
This was fun.
This was probably like the best interview, most fun interview we've had.
Hey, I wasn't a Silver Creek Raider, but I relate.
I don't know. It's the Bay Area. It's the Bay Area feel.
It just feel right.